guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Arissa and this is Arissa Rue Resin Art. And today I am making something super cool in the Halloween style. I will tell you what I'm gonna make, but then I'm probably gonna do voiceover for this video because I really want to make sure I start wearing my respirator just because I should. So let me tell you what I'm gonna make. I'm gonna make this tray, but I'm gonna make it into a wall hanging using some rock glass pieces on the edge. So I've got this kind of iridescent blackish one and the purple. Got those at Michael's. And then I'm going to use a little bit of this glow in the dark glitter from this company, Osbang, O-S-B-A-N-G. So I'll throw that in there. So I'll put the rim there and I'm going to pour it right away. So I'm going to do the rim and then I'm going to do kind of a puddle pour, I guess, with resin using various different purples. So I've got the Pearl-Ex, what is this one called? Duo Violet Brass. I've got the CT Violet Pearl, and then I'll use another purple or something. And maybe a little black, actually. I'll probably use some black. And then purple ink. And I will use the Decorum Violet is the one I really like. Perhaps I will use that one. You know what? I'm lying. I don't like the violet as much as this other violet from this company. I don't know what it's called, but that's the name of the company. You can pronounce that if you want. And I will use their violet. It's super pretty. Really, really pretty color. And that's amethyst, not violet. And then I got these 3 little pumpkin jars. I'm gonna make those. I'm going to do the leaves, but I wanted to show you because I want to do the leaves in the Let's Resin color flakes, but I don't like them flying everywhere. So all I did was take a little bit of a white mica and I just touched my finger to it and then took off the excess and just put this on the outside of the mold. So when you go to put your flakes in it, they're a lot less, well, it's going to be staticky to the glass. I guess I should have thought about that. But it's a lot less staticky to the other parts of the mold, the silicone to the mold. Let me grab a paper towel here so I can show you without it wanting to adhere to my glass. So it just decreases the static a little bit. It's not perfect, certainly, but it makes it easier to get your color in where you want it rather than losing so much. And so that is just going to be the leaves for these pumpkins. So I will pour that in black. The pumpkins, I'm going to pour in a various amount of oranges from Azteca. They're as mica powders. They are matte molds, and I really like how matte molds look when you put mica in them. And otherwise, I will voice over this stuff. I'm going to use this skeleton mold, and in this, I'm going to actually use glow powder. I made a greenish blue glow powder, so I will use that. So I've got some tape in there. And I just use my mortar and pestle to make it a little smaller. Sometimes those glow powders, the mica flakes are super, super gritty. And so I just wanted to make it a little smaller. So I'm going to put my respirator on. I will do some voiceover and then I'll do some music. And I'm going to put my Resiner's air purifier on. This is my respirator. It's well used, but this one, the filters need to be changed. Let me get another one. So I'm going to get my another respirator. And I'm going to take all this off so you can kind of see me mixing my colors. And then we'll do this. So respirator on. Let me take these glasses off so I don't break my glasses. And I will be right back. All right, so I am going to mix up my resin. I'm using the Nick Pro Epoxy 1:1 resin. I think I mixed up like 20 ounces, maybe a little less, a little more, I should say, 20 to 24 ounces. So I'm going to have extra, as you will see in the end. I am using the 3 oranges I'm using for the pumpkins are the Azteca micas in royal orange, tangerine orange, and Aztec gold. I'm mixing them into 1 cup. And then I think I already told you about my colors for the tray, those violets and the interference violet and the black. And I am going to not inundate you with so much of my voice in this voiceover because I won't have too much to say. So I'm going to give you some music during these fast forwards. For the most part, I'll pop in and out as needed. But otherwise, I will talk to you in real time. Bye. All right, I'm taking a quick respirator break to kind of explain. This holds 16 ounces. I almost forgot that I'm using so much of that glitter that I don't need the whole 16 ounces in these cups. So I'm gonna have some extra in those cups after I put the glitter in the rim. Hopefully I have enough for the skeleton, which I'm pretty sure I do. Hopefully I have enough for my pumpkins. So I don't know if I do, but I might. So hopefully I have enough. I will do the two, the big one and one of the small, or there's two ones that are in there that are the same. So the pattern in here is the same. So I'm definitely gonna do this big one. This pattern is a little different, so I'll do these definitely, and hopefully I have enough for the little one. I painted the inside of their stems with the Fairy Green Intense Chameleon Powder by Let's Resin. And the same with the accent points and the feathers, the leaves and the stems. And now my air purifier, my debubbler has like 6 seconds left. I'm gonna put my mask back on and we're gonna pour. I will be right back. All right, so my resin is just about done in the debubbler. I've got all my colors mixed. I didn't put my colors in through my debubbler. I just, for some reason, really didn't want to. I did put the glitter in and the orange in though, because that glitter, but the rock edge, I really don't want bubbles in that. So I did put that through my debubbler and that's what took a while. But the rest of this, I don't think I'll end up having a problem with bubbles. So I'm not going to worry about doing that. So you'll see, I'm just going to start putting the rock around the edges. If the rock does end up on the base of the tray also a little bit, that's okay. But for now, I'm just going to stuff that down. You'll see me take a tool and like a little micro brush without the head on it and go around the edges of my tray. I'm spraying alcohol right here. Go around the edges of the tray on the outside rim and on the inside rim to make sure I don't get any bubbles. And then I'm going to layer my colors. The first color I'm going to put down is going to be the transparent alcohol. I keep saying alcohol ink. The transparent resin dye, just to act kind of as a clear so the black doesn't touch the tray first, so it doesn't stay. Because it's so opaque, I don't want just to have black lines through. So I'm putting down a transparent color first and then layering the colors on top of that. I think that's all for this segment, all the explanation that I think is needed. But if I left anything else out, drop me a comment below and I'll answer it then. So enjoy the music. Bye. just want to take a moment. I'm putting this down because usually I don't want to put like the dark color or one of the lighter committed colors down first, because when you put it on the resin, on the mold, it's the first thing that's going to stay, hit it, so it's going to stay. And so this is as close to clear as I can get because it's transparent. And so that's why I'm putting this down first in the bulk of it, because these other colors will fall through this. But if I just put like black on, you're gonna have a lot of just black on your mold, on your finished piece. And I want it in there, but I don't want it so forward that it's hitting the mold first. So I'll be right back. I just wanted to pause again. I'm using a pipette to fill the stems of these. And I'm gonna fill all three as if I have enough resin, but I'm continuously squeezing. So if you go like this and then you let go of this squeeze, that's when you get air in there. So I'm not letting go of the pressure, and that's what helps you keep your pipette filled and preventing air going into your pipette, where you just then have to deal with getting the air out. Now that I'm done, I will let it out. But these are super, super elastic, so I can go down and just make sure that they are all filled. And it looks like they are. And then I'm just gonna pour these mostly, and then I'll come back, I'll put them off to the side and then come back and I'll fill them and then we'll do our skeleton. I'll be back. Oh, also, now that I have the mica covered in there, I can now spray this mold without disrupting the mica, because the mica is covered now with resin. So I'm gonna spray these. All right, you guys, it has been like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I had them on my heat mat, and these are dry or cured. The pumpkins are not quite there because I didn't have them on my heat mat, but I do have them in my dehydrator now, so they should be cured soon. But I wanted to demold these. I want to show you. These are the skeletons I made. These again will just go into various frogs, essentially. They all glow. Let me see if I can, I don't know if I can, I'll make them all glow in the end, but you know, you might be able to see just a little bit if I turn off this one light. So let me just, this one has half non-glowing resin in it, so it won't glow as fully, but let me see. Maybe you can see it just a little bit. Let's see. Oh yeah, you can see. Whoop. So they all glow and they're cool. I love that. And then same with this guy, he glows just like that, but I wanted to demold the skulls. The skeleton, I ended up just making an orange skeleton too because maybe I want to use an orange one. And so with these, this is a fondant mold and these pieces are super, super, super thin. I have some wet resin on the back of this one because I set it in wet resin. So you really want to just be really delicate about how you demold these. So kind of getting it started and then just pull it away. And I kind of pop my finger under it to move it up and I don't pull on it, especially the toes and everything. So here, while the lower leg is out, I'm still just gonna separate the mold from itself and I'm just kind of going under to pull them up rather than yanking on them from above it. And there, you've got your leg bones. All right, so I'm gonna do that to the other legs also, the other leg and then the arm, other arm. So kind of get under it when you can. All right, sorry, this motion is kind of sore. It's just kind of moving it away. And again, the feet are very thin here, which won't matter in the end if I put it on the piece because this particular foot is very thin. I think I didn't fill it up all the way. Oh. And so yeah, it's a little thin, but he's got 5 toes. That's all that matters, right? This mold is super cool. I've had it for a few years now. I really like this one. All right, let's do this arm. I'm not gonna go ahead and clean up everything because there is some overage that I have on here. I cleaned some of it off just by picking it off the mold, you know, while they were still in the mold, and that will work. But otherwise, I'll do it all off camera. You don't need to watch me do that. And the body is coming out too right now. So let me just go ahead and let that come out all the way so I don't break the pelvis. Molded, the resin is still warm. So like the overage here, I'll take that off a little bit later and I'll do it off camera. So let me get the rest of the arm out. And then I'll fast forward through during the other one just because it is a kind of a tedious task. And I don't want you to have to sit here and watch me do it twice. So here we go. Fingers and toes are the thinnest parts. So you just want to be very delicate as to not amputate anything unnecessarily. Everything came out of that one. And so let me kind of assemble him. So for my skeleton in this tray, I'm gonna put the thumbs to the inside as if this skeleton was laying with his hands down, his palms down, because in my tray, they won't fit if the thumbs are to the outside, but you could do whatever you want in your own. Either way works. That's all, bye. I don't think I can make him glow, but let's see. So he goes a bit, can you see? Let me turn off this light really quickly so you get a flash of that glow. There you go. It's pretty cool, right? I love it. So that's the first one. I'm gonna let them stay flat. I probably won't finish the rest of this pour tonight because it's like 8:30 and I want these to stay flat enough for me to, or cool down enough for me to cut and trim them. And I don't want to mess up anything. So let me rush through this next one. Oh, my resiner's air purifier is picking up the resin. And it's just because I turned on the, I turned the dehydrator up, but also this resin is still warm. So it's picking up the scent of this resin, even though it's cured, it's still warm. So it's still throwing off some fragrance or some VOCs. Let me turn this one down and let it glow for you really fast. So it's starting to huff and puff and suck some VOCs out over there. And so this one's that pretty, really pretty blue-green color. Oh, those look cool. Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, let me get this tray demolded for you. Move these off to the side. All right, so this is nice and cured. All you do for this tray, I love this tray. This tray is such a good size. And so you break all the edges and then flip it over and it demolds super easily. All right. Oh, the crackle looks excellent on this one. Oh, it looks so wonderful. I don't have any bubbles, no shards sticking out. Let me see. Do you see the crackle on that? Looks so good. Oh my goodness. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love that the black is in there, but it's not forward at all. Maybe it glows because I did have that glow glitter in there. It won't glow brightly like the other pieces. Just turning off that one light. It won't go brightly like the other pieces because largely this is not a glowing piece, but oh, you'll get a few little bits of it in there. Let me get that kind of charged a bit and then we'll turn it off. Oh my gosh. So you get some in. Oh, that looks really cool, y'all. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I love that. That looks amazing. Okay, so I'll show you the plan. It's just gonna be a really simple wall hanging. Kind of coffinish. Let me see. Oh, she angry now. I got my purifiers up because I took this out and this is so big that it's off gassing. So I'm gonna actually just show you this and then I'm gonna leave the room for a bit. Now though, the decision will be, do I want the bright orange in there or do I want the subtle, see it's kind of warm so it's sticking a bit, the subtle more skull colored piece in there. These pieces do fit, they barely fit, but they do fit. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do this tomorrow. This stuff is too warm. I don't want to distort anything. So I will come back tomorrow morning when all of this is cooled. I'll demold the pumpkins for you. And this thing next to me is saying, get out of this room because there's too many VOCs in the air. So I'm going to do that. But I love the first part. This looks amazing. Almost don't want to cover it up, but I've committed. That's what we're going to do. And I can make it again, right? So I love this. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next part. Bye. Okay, I just had an idea because I can't stop. And my room got cleared of all the smell. So I am going to put some of these confetti pieces on. And, geez, sorry, let me adjust this dressing on my wrist. I'm gonna put these confetti pieces on, but they're like, I have pumpkins and I have bats and I have purple stars and I have all these little things here that are super cute, but I don't want them plain and I want them to be a little blingy because if you just throw them in there, you can probably see them, but maybe you can't. And so I took a little bit of my tack it over and over and I am going to just, whoops, using a pair of tweezers so I don't just keep on getting sticky. I'm just gonna hold them down and brush a little bit of the tack it on. This is just on some wax paper so it just doesn't stick to everything and make my art life a little more difficult by having everything sticky. That's never fun. So I'm just going to do this and let it dry. And then like these, whoops, make sure I have the sticky side upright. These I will brush with chrome powder, silver chrome powder. Let me get another one here. Ow, sorry. Oh, for heaven's sakes. I'm gonna brush these with silver chrome powder so they stand out against that piece over there. And I'll put those in the corners of my tray on the inside before I pour the next layer of resin to adhere my, or wall piece. It's not a tray anymore, y'all. Say the right thing, Arissa. Woo. So I will do this, let that dry, brush them with chrome powder on this wax paper also. So again, I don't have a mess everywhere and these don't stick to anything. Get one more. And I'll probably do the same. The little stars, I won't do it because they're super bright already and they'll stand out. But I just want everything to stand out. So there's some spiders that are black. So I'll probably do this and brush it with the Let's Resin holographic glitter in the black, just so there's some holographics to it. And this is just a tiny little micro brush thingy that I'm using to brush this because these are not big. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be completely covered. I'm doing the best I can without making too much effort, because if it's not completely covered, it'll still add some depth to the piece. So I'm gonna just do this one. The first one I did is dry. So I'm going to get, maybe, instead of using chrome powder, I'll use the holographic silver on these. So there's a hollow effect to these also. So let me grab that from under me. And where do I put them? They are not there. They are, where did I put those? All right, dear Arissa, where did you put your stuff? No, not here. They've got to be under me. Oh, yes, here they are. So I have my holographic silver. Let me put this somewhere. I will take a different, bigger, small brush. That one's been used. Let me get a fresh one. I use these over and over again for mica, so digging deep to get one that hasn't been used. Even that has red on it. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I think this will be good. All right, so I'm just gonna get this in here. And bring it to life with just some of this. Again, not using my hand because I'm touching everything. Let's see. There. So now, let me grab it here. Instead of just a black, you'll get that holographic. Let's see, can you see it? What are you seeing? Where's my camera? There it is. Oh, you'll get the holographics in there. And so I'll show you, I'll come back when I'm done all of these. I will do the black for the spiders. And I don't know if I want any jack-o'-lanterns in there. There are little witches too, so I may add a few of those in there. So bats, spiders, witches, and spider webs I will do. Otherwise, I will be back when we're ready to pour a layer of resin in. All right, you guys, I am back to do this. It is the same night. I'm impatient and I want to pour it. So I put, I don't know if you can see it. I have my little pieces of web in there, but in order to tack them down, I am going to use a little bit of UV resin just on, I'm going to put some on a piece of parchment paper here. I mixed my resin, obviously. That is my resin that I'm going to use. This is my resin. I don't know if you can see it. And so I'm going to just tack it down just in a few spaces. I'm not going to worry about keeping the whole thing down because I don't really want a lot of UV resin in here, just because if you look at different angles, sometimes you can see it. And so I'm just going to tack it down a little bit here, cure it with my light. I'll sit that there while I do the next ones. That one on that corner is already done. And so, whoops. Let me move that in there. As far as the other little additions, I'm going to let those float because I don't mind that they're not specifically in one area. I will, however, I think that's good enough there. wait to put them in until my resin's a little sticky, just so they don't all float to the center. I don't want that. So it's kind of a balance. You want to allow them to free flow, but if they're all in the center, they're largely going to be covered up by the skeleton. And by the way, I chose the white skeleton. I don't want any orange in here. So I am not going to do that one. I'm going to do the white skeleton. So that's all done and tacked down. Make sure that feels good. It does, it does. And so I mixed up like 100 mils of resin. That's just like a little more than 3.5. I'm gonna put that in here and then let it sit for a while. And I want a very thin layer because I don't want the skeleton to be buried under resin. And so I may not even need all of this, but let me actually detour. I unmolded one of the pumpkins and I think it's super cute. I'm gonna let that resin cool down. Love the pumpkins. I absolutely love how the stems came through, or the leaves, and those, you can attach them there like that. Love that so much. And then let me do the medium pumpkin. It's a new mold, so there's a few little bits of silicone. So that one's super cute too. I absolutely love these. So you see, this is what I mean. They're a different shape. With this kind of over pour, because this is so soft, I use just like suture removal scissors and I just cut it because it's faster. I don't want to, it doesn't matter if I cut it over this mold, it's not going to be small like that. So I just cut that off to get my shape on the bottom when it's soft, because these are still fairly soft. They're a little warm, not very warm at all. Certainly I'm confidently demolding them. I know the stem is not going to come off. There you go. And then you get a nice flat bottom, nice rounded edges, and you don't have to worry about a deburring tool or blade. I'm like, what's the word? And that one can go there. You can stick them up if you hold them well enough, or you can kind of bury them with some resin. And so what I will do to put these on in the end is I'll take the remnants of this resin that I'm pouring now, once it's thick and goopy, and then I will attach them. So it will be a couple of hours probably before I detach those or start to attach those, because that resin will stay too fluid for a while. Oh, this one's super cute. Oh, I love these molds. These are adorable. So same thing here. Let me clean up my edges or my bottom side. And I like these kind of scissors because they're curved. So you can go along the contours of your piece when it's round. And if you need to, you can turn them down or what. And that way you can get, sometimes it helps as a closer thing. And I'm a surgical nurse, so I'm always going to be inventive with how I can use things. These, because they're for surgery and medical, they're ambidextrous. So even if you're left-handed, you can use them. So if you can, get yourself some suture removal scissors. They're very convenient and they're sharp, so you can get into small spaces. That's how I got all of this cleaned up here. So like if I had a little bit here, I can just turn it to contour that scapula and get in there and clean it up. And then in the little spinal spaces, I can go in there and clean them up. Love these scissors, if you can find them. Okay, but for this one, I would want to use the bigger. Oh, it's so pretty. This is the, what color did I do? I think this is the green or the lime green, I think, or gold olive. But having the orange behind it did such a number on the color. I absolutely love the color of that. That's beautiful. So let me put those aside. I'll show you the other pieces. I'm kind of letting my resin warm up. It's a little warm right now. I put it through my debubbler and everything. So I also poured these little horror movie things. Mask. I am a chicken and a half. I do not watch horror films, but I know that that's the Scream guy. I think that's Michael and I think that's Jason. And so let me show you what I've been doing for these for Halloween. I've been making keychains with them. And I have the, what is it? Let me look at the little windows molds. And so I've been making keychains because some of her molds are amazing. I love her cabochon molds, but some of them are too big to do pendants unless they're novelty pendants. So I may make some, but this is what I've been doing with them, just kind of burying them. Let me see if you can see it like that. And I love that one. There's a green. I have the Scream guy. I decided that was Michael, right? Yeah, that's Michael. And then I have one that has Michael and the Scream guy in it, just kind of backwards. Almost kind of like it would yin yang, or like the koi fish way they would swim. I may color the edges on this one just because it's a little faint and I want it brighter. And then I have skeletons. And then I'll show you what I was doing with the one mold that I told you I made, this one. Oh, I forgot. I need to do that. This mold comes with this little knob on its head. I don't understand what it is. So while it's a little warm, I just cut that off. Especially when I bury them into a piece, because then you get a whole head without that weird little knob. I don't know what that is. But that was that. So I cut that off so I have a nice rounded skull. But I love the way this one came out. I just dropped some red resin dye in it, behind it. And I think that looks amazing. I love that one. And then I have this creepy little picture girl here, and I buried her in one. And I just like her, let me see, because she kind of always looks like she's looking at you. So these are going to be I sell a lot of keychains when I put weird things in them. I live in Washington. We're weird people here, and we like weird things. So when I put faces or anything in a frog, I sell them all the time. It's crazy. I have some that were like just pretty with tattoos in them. Those I've had for a couple of shows now. They don't sell. But the moment I put a bunch of insects in it, or I made one that has like a koi pond, I made one that has like an astronaut scene, all those things, they sell so well all the time. And so those will be, I will put these skulls in a frog. I may put some of the characters in frogs. A lot of things in frogs. Those are hot sellers for me. But this is getting a little warmer. And now that I've tacked those down, I'm going to go ahead and spray my mold first. Just to make sure I don't have any bubbles. And I'm just going to pour on one edge and let it go. And then, in this, I forgot. I put a very small touch of the Let's Resin purple holographic glitter, just to have a little sparkle in it. So I'm just gonna go along. Again, I don't want too much. And I'm gonna tilt this out, making sure I don't have any resin on the outside of my hands. Oh, what's that? I see a little bit in there. Oh, when she says, it doesn't matter if I cut over the mold, I can pick it up. I should pick it up then, right? So I'm gonna tilt this out, let it cover the whole mold here. My resin's doing weird things. Oh, I sprayed my alcohol, so now my thingamabob is going off. All right. Okay. So, did that drip on the side? I did, I think. Okay. So I'm gonna let this settle. Make sure it's not dimpling or leaving any blank spots. I think I just had a lot of alcohol in there. That sprayer is a little too aggressive for putting it in your resin. And so as this alcohol evaporates, I think it'll be fine. So I'm gonna let this go for a bit. I'm probably gonna let it sit here for like an hour, maybe. And then as it stops moving and thickens up, I may actually throw it in my dehydrator, because I don't really want to wait that long. So I'll do that probably for only 15 minutes, maybe. I'll start with 10 and then check it, and then hopefully I'll be able to come back and throw some stuff on. I'm going to figure out what I can do with this resin that I have left over, and then I'll see you when we're ready to put in the skeleton and the bits and bobs. So I will be right back. Bye. Alrighty, so it's not done. It's not so thick. Let me turn this off here. It is getting thicker. It is not thick because I want to be able to move my skeleton around a bit. I'm kind of thinking I may throw it on top of my heat mat, simply because I don't want it to come out of the heat and then be able to move. So let me grab my heat mat here. Let me make space. I'm doing too much, y'all. Where did my heat mat go? Oh, I put it over here. Let me grab that. Get that plugged in. All right. Let me make sure you're not too high now. Oh no, you're good. Sorry, my heat mat's a little messy with resin that's been curing. So I ended up having it in there for a total of like 25 minutes. So luckily, because I just mixed the resin, it wasn't gonna just completely cure on me. And so you see it's a little gloopy, but it's still very mobile. So if I were to tilt this right now, it would still move. So the first thing I'm gonna do is put in my skeleton, and then I'm gonna put everything else around it, I think. And so with my skeleton, just making sure I don't have any extra pieces hanging around there or anything like that. I'm gonna put this in, kind of sinking it, because I really wanna be able to manipulate the positioning. And if I let it get much gloopier than this, I won't be able to. I'm gonna put the arms on first, because I don't know, well, let me see how long the legs will be. Yeah, I think the arms that'll be good. That's a good position. So let me put the arms on, letting them just kind of fall in. So they are in place. And I'll still babysit this. I'm gonna pull them away from the body, the skeleton's body a little bit, so because the legs have to be there. But I'll still babysit this to make sure it doesn't travel. It shouldn't take long. In fact, let me just turn this on now. It shouldn't take long for it to settle down because I've heated this resin up so much. All right, so now I've got it too close there. So I'm gonna move it over towards me a little bit because I want it nice and centered. And so that arm is somewhat even. I'm gonna look at it from the top down, or from the, there you go. All right, so let me throw in one leg. So you see that arm has to swing out because that leg will be too far out for the arm to fit if I don't. And press it down into the resin. Get everything where I want it to be. And then this last leg. A little bit of overpour between the tibia and fibula. There we go. Get that in place. Get the arm out of the way. Get that sunken into the resin. Do I like it? Yeah, I think it looks good here. Whoops, I didn't want any resin on top of the body because the body is matte, where the rest will be shiny, glossy. So I want that to stay true. All right, so now that that's in there, I'm just gonna spend a couple of minutes here getting my add-ins and throwing them in there. I'm gonna sink them. So I just dip the tip of this little brush into the resin so it's sticky. And then I will put this over it. And that's part of the reason I kept the rest of my resin still, because I want these to sink, mostly because I've painted them with some various chameleon flakes and stuff, and I want them to stick out. I want them to be bright and shiny in there. And so they are gonna do well with some resin on top of them. This resin in this cup is getting warm, so I need to get this part done so I don't waste this resin. So there's one little witch. I'll put you on a fast forward so you don't have to watch me do all of this, but this resin is still tacky enough or fluid enough that this stuff will self-level still. So I'm gonna grab the other one. I'm gonna go opposite corner here. Just throw some in there. I'm kind of thinking, part of me wants to, oh crap, I just messed up all my confetti. Part of me wants to try to dome the sides, this edge, but that makes me nervous. But this is nice and thick. And so if ever I was gonna do it, this would be a good time because I want this glitter to really stand out. So I think I'm gonna use this glitter, this resin largely to dome the center or the edge. Because it's perfect timing because it's so warm and so thick that I'm hoping it doesn't go over. So I'm just gonna put a line in the middle and then use something else to get it to the edges. You just don't want it to break the edge. If you can avoid it. I've never done this, so I'm nervous. Uh-oh, I think I just broke the edge, but going towards the inside. So I'm gonna slow down and get a stick and get it to the edges without going over. All right, let me get more of my little bits in here since I'm running out of time here. Everything is very thick. So I'm just gonna throw things in and then I'll come back and make them perfect. And I don't even believe in perfection. Nothing is perfect, but it can be pretty darn good, right? There we go. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. I need to figure out something to do with this resin because there's a lot of it and I don't want it to go to waste. I may just pour some more of these little screen characters. No, you know, I have this mold here that I'm trying to do something with. So what I'm gonna do is use my heat gun and heat this resin up and drip it in there. Let me grab it. I can do it. And drip it in there because that'll give me a moment of low viscosity on this resin as I drip it in there. And then I'll put some red alcohol ink or resin dye in there. So I'll be back to show you this final result tomorrow. But for now, I'm gonna leave it and leave you and not put heat on these edges because I don't want them to melt and move. I'll be back. All right, you guys, here she is. I put some hanging hardware on her, just a couple of like D hooks, and I used black chain to attach it. But look at this, it's so nifty. I love the way the crackle looks behind the skeleton. I love that I domed the edges because now they pop. I threw in a little bit more of that glow-in-the-dark glitter, the chunky glitter that I put in the rim. I threw a little bit more into the skeleton part while it was a little sticky. Like the little subtle witch in there and the spiders and bats that that are not just popping out. They're not like the first thing you see, but they're in there. But that crackle effect behind that skeleton looks so amazing. I'm so excited about this. Let me show you the hanging hardware before I show you the glow in the dark. So it's just like that. I used some rings and then a jump ring. I'm sorry, the chain and then the jump ring. But let's see her in the dark. It's so cool. Check it out. We're in my closet. That's the only dark spot right now. Oh, I love it. It's so awesome. I considered coloring in the eye sockets just to make them pop. I don't know if I will or not, but I love that I threw in that glitter so it kind of frames the skeleton. Like it's kind of in glow-in-the-dark Halloween space, but it looks amazing. I'm so excited about this. Sorry, my camera's a little shaky. It's because I took my pre-workout and I haven't worked out yet. So I'm a little jittery. But I love it so much. Let me know what you think in the comments below. This is a super fun make. Try it. Let me know if you do. I'd love to see a picture. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video. Like, subscribe. Oh, please subscribe. I'm having so much fun doing these things. And I just want this channel to grow. I keep going back and forth about whether or not I want my main channel to be my painting channel or my resin channel. Right now, I'm not quite sure. I think I'm going to try to give them equal love, but I'm really enjoying the resin part. But let me know what you think below. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.